CBMC stands for Christian Businessmen's Connection, CBWC, Christian Business Women's Connection. You'll find on your tables a few flyers about getting connected, and please feel free to take those. Talks a little bit about the program. So we are focusing this morning on family businesses. We've got a great panel. The rewards, problems, and risks associated with those family businesses and the personalities involved. Not just trying to get along at home, but then taking all of that to work. All right, we're going to introduce them alphabetically by last name. So from Electric Motor Shop, brother and sisters, or let me say sister and brother, Sally and Dick Caglia, welcome.
Thank you.
We have father, daughter, son from Horstmann Financial, John Sr., John Jr., and Kathy Huebert. Welcome. Representing 3 generations of catering and restaurateurs in our fine town, Mr. Jim Pardini. And from Wawona and all those other great things the Smittcamp family is involved in, father and son, Bill and Blake Smittcamp. But the next question we put out to them, do you think there are particular tough issues or problems that surface in a family business that might not be found among their competitors that don't feature that family lineage?
Yeah, I could relate to a couple of incidents that I've had to deal with over time. And one of them is having a family member work for the company that has a sense of entitlement, thinking that they can come in late, they can leave early, they can do personal things during company time. And during the course of my time, I've had to let 5 relatives go because they just weren't cutting the buck. And another situation that we deal with, or that I deal with, is as the company grows, we hire managers to take care of certain areas. And you bring this manager in to control this group of employees, and then you have a family member come in and somewhat undermine them, go around them, and just disturb the situation. So that's a situation that I think the other companies that don't have family lineage don't have to deal with, but it is something that we've had to deal with.
So one of the challenges that we face, or that we have faced, is you have to balance the family needs also with the business needs. And we've had a couple of situations with my dad's health 7 years ago where he was hospitalized for quite some time. And it's pretty tough to keep your focus on what's going on inside the business perspective when you also are struggling with what's going on inside from a family perspective. We have a little bit of that going on right now with my mom. She's at Nazareth House, and the beautiful thing about, I won't say great thing about the family, is that, you know, as my dad has struggled with some personal transitions in his life, we also have the ability, though, to have some real foundation, you know, within the business structure. I mean, that part of his life is really, you know, very stable, very strong, and it allows us as a family to, you know, work through some personal challenges at the same time and keep the business going.
How about you, Jim? Some of those tough things the families bring that your colleagues don't have to.
Well, I was very fortunate. I had a great role model, so I just kind of patterned myself after the way I was treated when I was a son working with my dad. You know, I kind of thought about it a lot before my boys came into the business with me. And truthfully, they know because they were young watching me work, and most of you have seen what we do. I kind of learned by working with people. And I think that if you work with people side by side, whether we're washing dishes, cooking, loading trucks, or doing whatever we're doing, it kind of helps with their relationship with their future employees. And they know that they're on the same level with whoever they're working with that particular day. So we really don't have time to bicker. We get along good. My father had a great saying, and I'm sure you can relate. One father can support 3 sons, but 3 sons can't support 1 father. Well, that's kind of our motto there, too. So we do a pretty good job of it.
I acquired, when I took over 1983 frozen food business, a lot of employees that had worked for my brother. Okay, and so those are kind of family, and those are kind of endeared employees. And so my dad was good enough to say, this isn't going to work. So he took a very senior employee that was like a brother to me because he started working for me when I was 5, and we called him Rambo. And he's still working for me, Al Peterson. And so he was the intermediary to make sure that the employees that worked for my brother and thought he was the boss changed lights to be able to come over here. And so that's going to be my struggle with my kids. And, because everybody wants to go around and get to the boss, right? And I've struggled with that because I used to be pretty hands-on, and now I'm tied up behind that wonderful computer. And so those are things that maybe corporate folks don't have to because they are regimented in having to go through the channels where some employees want to come around. So that's a struggle for me to be able to say, no, you need to go back and go up the channels. So it's an interesting way of life.
Okay, next question. How does the transition of being the boss take place from one generation to the other?
Insofar as the establishing the succession and all, we've been discussing these ideas and the future generation taking over and the change in their ideas and what they see where the company should be and going. And I think because we're all close and we work well together, it's been a transition that's coming about, and it's a slow process. We also had a great role model in how to run the companies and how to treat our customers and especially our employees. So I think the mold has been set, and it's not going to be too difficult for the next generations coming along to follow what's been set down before.
I think it's just the communication and looking at what has to be done. And the family always comes into play. But in our business, it's been interesting because if you listen and you listen to them, they come up with ideas that need to be transferred into our business. And just because we did it one way doesn't mean it was the right way now.
I don't think we've actually set anything up. It's just kind of progressed that way. It's, he goes, like he said, to China on business trips, and so therefore a lot of pressure lands on me, and so I got to handle decisions. And just for instance, he went to China, I made a call, and he comes back, and he's getting in everybody's grill. Why do we do this? And I'm following him, going, oh, wait, that's my decision. And he's like, why'd you do that? And I said, well, I thought that's what you would have done, and that's what we should have done. And he goes, well, that's not what I would have done. So I said, all right. So we learn, baptism by fire. So, but I think it's a slow process, like everybody's kind of said, and I think this year has actually been a little more progressive. I feel more people are coming to me instead of going straight to him, to the boss necessarily, but they come to me, and I know that working on the line, as you work with everybody as you grow up, so therefore, just like Jim said, you have done all the dirty work, and you've done everything that all the employees have done, so that they know that you understand what their pain is, what their struggles are. Well, at least 5 years ago, they all said, I can't wait for you to be the boss. You're the nice one, so you don't yell as much and stuff like that. So I said, well, and then certain times, Dad will just sit there and go, get on them. Just tell them what to do. And so I go out there, and we have different personalities and different ways of handling it. So it's a good mesh.
How major a factor does faith play in the family business? And what happens if maybe not all of the family members are the same faith formation?
And insofar as family members being we do have family members that are of faith, but of other denominations, and it doesn't impact the family at all. The fact that they're Christians and they're living their life according to the rules of our Lord, that's fine. They're just as loved as if they'd been Roman Catholic, dedicated to Mass every Sunday like the rest of us are. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think faith definitely plays a huge part in what we do every day. And John and I were both raised in a strong Christian home. Mom and Dad made sure of that, and we've carried that on to our children. Every day, I think that we start our days, we started out with some type of a spiritual moment for each one of us. I know that there have been many a time in my life and Dad's and John's that we've given each other pieces of scripture or inspirational words, or we have a spot in our office where I post inspirational things to keep everybody going. But more than what we read or see, it's really how we want to live our lives. We want to show our faith by the way we conduct ourselves and the way we treat others. We've always conducted our business in a way that Dad has often said that every day you want to live your life that if it was your words were printed on the front page of the Fresno Bee, you would be proud of them.